Ain't got fun, better gain the whole click, my nigga live in it. Damn, gang, see we back with another one, man. Classes in session, bro. King Von rap's first serial killer, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If y'all don't know, bro, I'm banned from Chicago. I can't go to Chicago, you feel me? Yeah, they ain't rocking with King Spitter right now, bro. Yeah, Chicago don't like me right now, y'all. Yeah, they done banned me from Chicago, man. I ain't gonna lie, man, that hurt in my heart. Yeah, that hurt in my heart. I cried last night. Yeah, I couldn't sleep last night about thinking about that, man. Chicago done banned King Spitter. I cannot go to Chicago. I can't go on the goddamn border of Chicago, bro. Them boys is gonna get me. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, Chicago mad at me, bro. I'ma just go ahead on and say that. We got King Von. Now we about to tap on that, bro. Now if y'all ain't know what be going on, bro, y'all been living under a rock. Nigga said King Von got 11 bodies. You feel me? King Von family got mad and said messing up his image, you feel me? And got the video taken down. I don't know how the brother managed to upload this video, but the white boy did. You feel me? And I'm about to tap on that. Classes in session. Y'all come on and tap on that. Real spitter game shit. Let's get it poppin', man. Let's see what's going on, bro. And it's a hefty.
This video is for educational and documentary purposes only. This video is not intending to incite or encourage illegal behavior in any way. Every effort has been made to remove any content which violates YouTube's community guidelines. If you'd like to see an uncut version of this video with everything that I can't show you on YouTube, head on over to patreon.com/traplordross. Supporters of the channel also get access to my recent vlogs with Academics and Adam22, as well as my old deleted King Von videos, and supporters on the $5 tier will also have access to my exclusive 4-part Patreon series where I break down real crimes caught on camera which I could never show you on YouTube. But if you don't want any of that, just sit back, enjoy the video, and hit that subscribe button.
Get to the point, man.
Ever since the 1980s, gangster rap has been one of hip-hop's most fascinating subgenres. From the mean streets of gang-infested Los Angeles that were brought to life by early gangster rap pioneers like Ice Cube and NWA, to Tupac and Suge Knight taking over the music game with vivid tales of gang-affiliated rappers who would bully their way into the music industry. And then you have legends like Jay-Z and 50 Cent, whose tales of life in the streets as gangsters made them millionaires hundreds of times over. For decades now, rap fans have been looking for the realest artists, whose lyrics paint the picture of a real life of crime that isn't embellished or fabricated. But when it comes to rappers who truly keep it real, the Chicago drill scene has dominated for the last decade. First popularized by Chief Keef, the Chicago drill wave was characterized by rappers that grew up in the most dangerous blocks in America, with these up-and-coming artists rapping plainly and honestly about what they experienced growing up. Shootings on the block, disrespecting dead enemies, and constantly being chased by the police. Chicago drill rappers took gangster rap to raw new heights, where the stories behind the music could be matched up with the local news reports on the latest homicides. However, what happens when the people doing the killing start making the music too? Because in the years after Chief Keef popularized the violent stories of Chicago gang life, one of those gangsters killing people in the streets picked up a microphone too, and started rapping in the first person from the perspective of the actual killer. King Von had a reputation in Chicago as a fearless killer before he'd even started rapping, and it's widely believed, based on the statements he made in his own songs, that Von himself could have killed as many as 7 people in his career as a gangbanger, with more murders even taking place after he got rich and famous, with it being rumoured that Von used his money and influence from the rap game to have old enemies in Chicago killed, and going on a journey which in my opinion takes him far beyond a street player who had to kill to survive in the mean streets of Chicago, because if King Von's tweets are anything to go by, he simply loved killing people. And the sheer amount of people that King Von allegedly played a role in killing has
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna say this, bro. I should have said it when the video first started, right? But a lot of y'all think I don't like King Von, right? I really want to check this video out, bro. You feel me? And I really want to get a real good idea of King Von and really get his background story, bro. Really tap on that, you feel me? So I can try to understand, you feel me, why y'all be so mad and upset about King Von, bro. You feel me? But let's get it popping, bro. There's a lot of people, bro. I ain't gonna lie. 11 people, it's a lot of people, bro. I ain't gonna lie, but let's get it.
Intense speculation as to whether he was a full-blown serial killer, a title which King Von's enemies even said that him and his friends took personal pride in. Now, the FBI defines a serial killer as a person who kills over 3 people with time spans in between them of more than a month. Furthermore, serial killers tend to have an element of psychological gratification, which plays a role in the motive for their murders. The FBI also state that a serial killer might seek various kinds of gratification through their killings, such as anger, thrill-seeking, financial gain, or simply for attention. I personally believe that over the course of his career, King Von demonstrated all of these characteristics and can indeed be classified as a serial killer. King Von frequently exhibited behavior in public that conformed with these rules, tweeting regularly about his desire to kill, bragging about having committed specific murders in his music, which attracted him international attention and Billboard charting songs, with his drill anthems about murdering rivals making him a rich man with millions in his bank account. The FBI also point out another characteristic of serial killers, specifically that their victims may all have something in common. For example, a demographic profile, appearance, gender, or race. And it would appear that King Von only killed young black men and women from the community he lived in. These were all people just like him, being born into a rundown part of Chicago and growing up with a lot of disadvantages. All that really separated Von from his victims were the fact that they were from a rival territory, and he believed that nobody would miss them. King Von has officially been implicated in 4 murders, 2 where he was suspected of being involved, but the police didn't have enough evidence to charge, and 1 case where he narrowly received a not guilty verdict after a key witness disappeared and a co-defendant implicated himself. Another that he's accused of organising with 5 of his closest childhood friends, the shooting of rival rapper FBG Duck in broad daylight at a busy shopping district. Von will never face justice for, due to him losing his life only months before the feds would swoop in and arrest all 5 of them.
Bro, you know what's crazy about that shit, bro? Right? They say King Von stepped on Malcolm Stuckey at a house party or some shit like that, right? But I just wanted to say this, right? How in the hell? How it's crazy how life works, right? FBG Duck gets stepped on in August, right? And then King Von get killed 2 months later, bro. You feel me? Right after he did that DJ Academics interview, bro. When DJ Academics asked him about FBG Duck, you feel me? And he put the phone down and he was laughing type of shit. Like he tried to play it all type shit. You're like, man, what the boo, man? I'll talk to Duck, man. Man, he'll put the swatch to beef and feel. You feel me? We got a whole song coming, bro. Like type of shit. It's crazy how life works, bro. You feel me? How all that transpired, you feel me? That shit crazy, bro.
Close friends. This particular murder would go down as one of the most brazen assassinations carried out in Chicago since the days of Al Capone. But in total, there's over 10 murders of which King Von has been connected to over the years. Nobody has looked into all of them in great detail until now. So today, we're going to take a closer look at the man, his past, and his career to find out once and for all if King Von really was the first serial killer in hip-hop history.
He was in jail for 2 murders?
Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts.
4 shooters and a hail of bullets.
All of them was scatter bomb. All of them was scatter bomb.
Police found several shell casings in this parking lot.
King Von was bloodthirsty. He loved death. He loved killing.
I got a lot of questions. Just for how many I think?
King Von had an insatiable obsession with murder and violence.
The shooting leaves 1 person dead, 4 others injured.
Hey, I know you. You know me. Are you?
King Von probably would have been considered like a serial killer.
They labeled the man a serial killer. Them.
That's tough. That's tough. I ain't gonna lie, bro. Nigga King Von scares me. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, that boy. I'm scared of that boy, son. I ain't fucking with no nigga acting like King Von around this bitch. Your ass need to go to jail, boy.
King Von, real name Davon Bennett, was born on August the 9th, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois. Growing up on West 78th and South Hermitage, an area known as Killer Ward, an area mainly affiliated with the Chicago gangs, the Gangster Disciples, and the Black P Stones. Von would attend Barton Elementary School in the area, but despite starting life as a fairly normal kid in Chicago, he would be subjected
to... King Von look like a little innocent little boy right here, bro. You feel me? He look like an innocent child, bro. I know that's why they say a child don't be born bad, you feel me? Like that shit be put inside them type shit. I ain't gonna lie, he look like a little innocent little angel right here, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Of gangbanging in his family home from a young age. His father was Walter E. Bennett, aka Silk, a well-known street dude from nearby Ada Park. Von was mainly raised by his mother, as his father was in and out of jail throughout his childhood. But Von's father was apparently a legend in the streets, with ties to the street gang, the Black Disciples. However, much like Von, despite the fearsome reputation he'd earned in the streets, it would ultimately be this proximity to gang life that would lead to his father's demise, as King Von's dad Silk was shot dead when Von was only 11 years old, apparently being targeted by a sniper outside of a skating rink, according to an interview with King Von's uncle.
Rest in peace, King Von. Rest in peace, Silk. That's crazy. Like, I'm with Big Bro every day. My kill his daddy with a sniper rifle. This get deep, though. You know what I'm saying?
Sounded personal.
Yeah, sniper. I hit him with a sniper
personal,
rifle. At the skate ring, but you know, that's another story.
It seems clear that King Von's father Silk was remembered as a legend of the block. However, coping with the loss of his father at such a young age clearly had a negative effect on the mindset of a young King Von. He would tweet and rap in freestyles years later that he simply couldn't sleep after his father's death.
They killed my daddy, I couldn't even go to sleep.
And throughout his teenage years, he would post RIP tributes to his father on Twitter to commemorate his birthdays. Naturally, Von would follow in his father's footsteps, getting involved in local gang politics at a young age, with Von actually telling 16-shot visuals in his very first interview that he got involved in the streets in 4th grade, eventually getting his hands on guns by the time he got to high school.
You was out toting pipes in 4th grade, like when you started?
I probably had a BB gun or something. It wasn't that hectic. Like, it ain't get. I just been, you know, in the streets with awesome. I just like being outside. One of the little boys that like sleeping out, just being outside all day, just go in bed. Man, the gun, all that stuff, that shit come to play to like what? Yeah, like late 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade when it really got to that point where you gotta hurt somebody or somebody trying to hurt you and you gotta protect yourself.
Von would rap on the unreleased song Wait that he jumped off the porch, getting deeply involved in gang politics in 2006 when he was just 12 years old. Von would initially be a member of a local street crew affiliated with the Gangster Disciples called Killer Ward, being seen in numerous group pictures with that crew. And affiliates from the area would later post tweets suggesting that Von was indeed putting in work for this crew during his time gangbanging in Killer Ward, with Von himself corroborating that he was close to the members in Killer Ward where he was born, but making it clear that he's always been a member of the Black Disciples due to his family affiliation. Now, Von would live around Killer Ward up to around 2008 or 9, after which he would eventually move to the infamous Parkway Gardens housing development.
All right,
this housing
hold on. I always thought Von from O Block, so Von from Killer Ward, and he moved to O Block. You feel me? So he originally from Killer Ward, but he probably was, I don't know, he probably grew up in O Block or fucking, I don't know, bro. But originally from Killer Ward, ain't that big a bitch? I thought King Von's from O Block the whole time.
Is notorious for its affiliations with the Black Disciples street gang. Parkway Gardens would later be referred to by insiders as O Block, but prior to that, it was referred to as Wick City. And here, King Von would meet many of the people who would end up having a huge influence on his life and career. People famous for their affiliation to O Block, whether through the gang wars going on there, or through the music that had been made about the gang war. People like Boss Top, Chief Keef, T-Roy, White, Duke, BJ, Big A, Trey 5, Sharoid, J Money, Platoon, and countless other people that played a big role in Von's life growing up. Von would also attend a new school in the area, the Hyde Park Academy, where he would attend with people from other rival territories with affiliations to the Gangster Disciples. People like FBG Duck, who would even claim in a Twitter exchange in 2014 to have plotted to beat King Von up on the school bus, and people like Lil Mark, who Von would even be seen in throwback pictures with before their feud had escalated into something deadly. Von and his friends started out their gangbanging careers with fist.
So all of them was cool at first. My be goddamn, bro. So y'all mean to tell me, bro, all of them was cool at first, bro, and then they just started beefing? Because I know who Lamarck is, bro. That's the little dude that did the video. I think that's Tuka, brother. He shot the video computers, I think, bro. Yeah, he shot the video computers, I think, and nigga popped his top. But that's crazy, bro. All these little dudes is really cool, bro, and they just started beefing type shit, bro. Oh, that's wild.
With the opposite school, schoolyard scuffles that would unfortunately escalate over the coming years, developing into full-blown gang war with firearms involved. Over time, a teenage Von would begin getting more and more involved in Chicago's street gang conflicts, apparently bringing guns to school as young as age 13. Chop Squad, who went to school with both Von and G Herbo, would claim that Von would even show off guns in class, with it apparently being Von himself who started the trend of teenage gangbangers in their school bringing guns to class.
Von was the type of person to bring a pole to school at 13, bro. Like, that's what me and Herb was talking about. He was like, he knew it was real when Von walked up to him in school. He was like, he had flashed the pole or something. He was like, Herb knew every day from there it was up. He was like, oh, we bringing guns to school? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's on now. He's like, every day from there, everybody brought guns to school.
Oh, man.
And he's like, Von was the one to start that off.
In fact, G Herbo would even later rap about this on a collaboration with Von called FaceTime, saying that Von showed him a revolver in freshman orientation, an experience which led G Herbo to begin bringing guns to school himself too. Now, King Von was apparently out of control as a youngster. According to one story, Von actually did a shooting on prom night whilst wearing his suit, after literally tweeting out that somebody better not try him in his suit. So naturally, you can imagine Von ended up spending a significant amount of time in trouble with the law as a teenager, with large patches of his most formative years spent inside jail cells. Von went to jail for the first time around August 2010 at age 16 for armed robbery, apparently robbing someone for their car at gunpoint, something that he would actually later refer to on his song Armed and Dangerous, saying that he was arrested on August 11th, 2 days after his 17th birthday, when he was offered 21 to 45 years in a plea deal. Von would end up spending time in boot camp, an intense military-style juvenile program, ultimately rewarding him with early release. But soon after that initial charge, Von would catch another in January 2011, ultimately spending 15 months behind bars as a juvenile, being locked up between December 2010 and March 2012. And during this time of incarceration, Von's best friend T-Roy would tweet calling for his release. Eventually, in March 2012, Von would be a free man once again, but he was only free for a matter of months, from March to November 2012. But during this time, Von would undergo a transformation, going from a gun-toting stick-up kid to a full-fledged killer after witnessing the death of one of his close friends, which, as he put it, turned him into a demon.
The new Lippmann Tornado Spin Mop. A better clean no matter how you spin it. So go ahead.
Before we get into the first murders that King Von was allegedly involved in, I just want to take the time to consider the real reasons why he would be motivated to kill in the first place. Despite covering a lot of gangsters who are hardened killers, it's important to consider the social circumstances that need to exist for a teenage boy to start committing murders. Firstly, these areas where King Von grew up in Southside Chicago, Killer Ward and O Block, are incredibly poor and dangerous areas, with the latter even being described by the local Sun-Times newspaper as the most dangerous block in Chicago. Part of the reason why so many of these gang murders in Chicago go unsolved is due to the failure of policing in these areas. Someone like King Von grew up seeing death and destruction as a completely normal thing, and if the police never come to your area to solve crimes or deliver justice, it's easy to see why you would place more trust in street justice than in the state. Furthermore, you really have to ponder whose fault is it really that somewhere like O Block ended up being so poor and dangerous. While it's easy to blame the gangsters and killers there for cultivating a lawless environment, the city and the state politicians ultimately have failed to create the economic circumstances for someone to grow up safely in these areas. Had there been better economic prospects in the hoods of Chicago, perhaps many of these young men wouldn't have been forced into a life of crime and violence. Furthermore, when it comes to the analysis of King Von's eventual transformation into what some have described as a serial killer, there's actually an argument to be made that geography may have played a part in King Von feeling like he could get away with so many murders. The 70s to the 2000s have actually been described as the golden age of serial murder, and one possible cause for this phenomenon around this period has been cited as urbanization and the concentration of inner city living. Some people have said that putting so many people in such close proximity ends up offering a unique level of anonymity when it comes to committing crimes in these complicated, busy and overpopulated areas. Put simply, this means that in O Block, the sheer amount of people, overlapping gang conflicts, and normalization of violence on the streets means that somebody like King Von could kill multiple people without attracting too much attention to him personally. As sad as it is to say, in the eyes of the cops, a victim is just another casualty of the gang war rather than a specific crime that could be solved. And it's these circumstances that were the perfect conditions for a young King Von to begin killing people in his community with minimal consequences. And whilst King Von was in jail, gun violence had raged on between the black disciples from Wick City and the rival gangster disciples from St. Bronx and Eberhard Avenues, or STL-EBT. And during this time, whilst King Von was incarcerated, a 15-year-old gangster disciple from the rival hood by the name of Tuka was murdered. Real name Shondale Gregory.
Long live Tuka, bro. But how the hell they beef, bro, and they right around the corner, bro? They can literally go in their backyard and see their ops on hood, bro. Like, how the hell they beef like that, bro? O Block right around the corner from goddamn 63rd. So how the hell they beefing like that, bro? That's why a lot of them probably getting stepped on in Chicago, bro, because they too close, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, they real close, bro, and they beefing like this, bro. This shit is a goddamn shame, bro. I ain't
was
gonna
shot
lie,
dead
bro.
at a bus
Long
stop
live,
on the 600
Tuka.
block of East 63rd Street on the 12th of January 2011 at around 6:48 p.m. It was around that time that a masked gunman jumped out of a vehicle, shooting Tuka several times. Tuka was hated by his rivals from the Black Disciples, and over the next decade, BDs would continue to disrespect him on social media and in popular songs. And in honor of their fallen friend, gangster disciples from St. Lawrence and Eberhart would rename their area Tukaville. It's never been fully revealed to the public who killed Tuka, but ever since, there has been intense speculation that a boy named O.D. Perry from Wick City might have had something to do with it. This is partly due to him being pictured regularly with a silver revolver, and the witness report from the Tuka murder stated that Tuka was actually shot with a long-barreled silver revolver. Regardless of whether or not O.D. was really the person who killed Tuka, that didn't really matter, because later that year, on August the 10th, 2011, in an act of retaliation, O.D. Perry was killed just outside Parkway Gardens. He would suffer multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the neck, at about 11:35 p.m. Just like Tukaville, Wick City was also renamed in the memory of their fallen friend O.D., O-Block, and it's believed that one of the shooters who killed O.D. was a female teenage shooter by the name of Jakira Barnes, or K.I. Following the murder, K.I. would begin to pose on social media with a silver revolver, similar to the one that O.D. was known to carry, and her rumoured involvement in this murder of a beloved O-Block member would lead to K.I. becoming a major target herself, with matters not helped by the fact that she would regularly tweet insulting O.D. Perry and alluding to having killed him, along with others who would openly claim that K.I. made the O, meaning that she killed O.D. and was the one that caused Wick City to change the name of their block to O-Block. But the tragedies in O-Block were far from over. On the 18th of October 2011, another O-Block native by the name of Platoon, real name Edward Riley, would be shot dead inside O-Block after being approached by two people with firearms. Another devastating loss to the community would come when 19-year-old Sherroyd Liggins would be shot in the head and left for dead on February the 16th, 2012. Also at O-Block. This murder was particularly notable for the fact that it was believed that Sherroyd was killed by a Tukaville shooter by the name of Boss Trell. As the gang war in his neighbourhood continued to take more and more of his friends' lives, King Von would get more and more involved, continuing to play a role in the gang war going on in Chicago's street underworld. Von later rapped on the song Don't Want to Be Me that everything changed for him in 2012, and that this is when he decided to get more active in the gang war, with Von saying specifically that the deaths of O.D. and Platoon completely changed his plans and led him to put on a mask and get active in the gang war. Now, there's a lot of speculation about the exact murders that Von was allegedly involved in, and we might never know definitively if he was truly involved in all the violence that he was rumoured to be associated with, but the very first murder that Von was associated with took place on April the 28th, 2012, when a group of 4 men would catch a man called King Doc, real name Marlon Monroe, shooting him as he walked into a convenience store, with Doc apparently stumbling into a patch of tall weeds after the shooting, where he would pass away and lay undiscovered for hours. Doc would eventually be found dead by his 16-year-old cousin, Modell McCambry. Doc would be remembered as an original native of St. Lawrence and Eberhart Avenues, with his affiliation to the area likely the reason that the killers from O-Block would target him, despite the fact that Doc had apparently left the gang life behind him, becoming a painter to get out of the streets. Apparently hurt by the death of his cousin, Modell, that boy who discovered Doc's body, would then begin to get more involved in the gangs in the area too, beginning to hang around with people like K.I. and FBG Duck, as well as being seen on social media with guns. In fact, it's actually around this time that social media begins to play a bigger and bigger role in the gang war in Chicago. And during this time, King Von himself would become a prolific user of Twitter, beginning a flurry of activity on the platform after signing up in June 2012, and going on to tweet constantly about his activities in the streets, seemingly with no fear about incriminating himself. Von would openly claim to be drilling in the name of O.D. Perry. He would say that he was like Phineas and Ferb in the streets with his best friend and fellow O-Block shooter T-Roy, warning ops not to diss them, claiming to shoot.
I'll be back your ass.
That's some double D, big titties on that shit, I know she really like that. Better gain a whole click, let a nigga really cut up. See you on war, how you gon' beef for you ain't got funds? Better gain a whole click, my nigga lives in it, that chain hanging to the floor.